One of the busiest airports in the country is still experiencing delays and flight cancellations. New Jersey's Newark Liberty International Airport has been dealing with staffing shortages, equipment malfunctions, and runway closures. The chain reaction of delays started with an air controller blackout, which led to some air traffic controllers in Philadelphia to take trauma leave late last week. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy addressed their absence Tuesday.
The controllers said they're traumatized, and they're not on duty right now. I want to make sure that my controllers are of good mind and good spirit when they come in. It's an intense job.
CBS News senior transportation correspondent Kris Cleave joins us for more. So, Kris, give us some more information about this trauma leave, what's causing all of these delays, and what's being done to address the issues.
Well, what the secretary said basically is they have had to sacrifice efficiency in order to guarantee safety. When FAA air traffic control staffing goes down, goes below sort of their minimum safe number, it's called a staffing trigger, and that will trigger a delay program, a program that slows down an airport. And that's what's happened at Newark now for 9 straight days. We're talking about hundreds of canceled flights, thousands of delays. On average right now, 244 minutes is the average delay at Newark. The flights here from Los Angeles going to Newark today, they've all been about 2.5 to 3 hours late so far. One cancellation there is airlines have reduced their schedule. And there's unfortunately not a quick fix here. Until those air traffic controllers are back, you're going to be at a reduced efficiency for that airport because controllers aren't plug and play. They have to be specially trained and certified for that airspace. And this trauma leave could go up to 45 days. And
you spoke with Alaska Airlines CEO Ben Minut. You're going to have to pronounce his last name for me. In an exclusive interview about these delays. Minicucci, thank you. And these issues. What did he tell you?
Yeah, so we were talking to him about sort of the bigger picture summer travel and some changes that are coming out of Alaska. But, they have 10 flights a day to Newark Airport. It's not an insignificant airport. It's the 12th busiest in the country. If there are problems there, does it bring about problems elsewhere? So we wanted to ask him about the safety of the system.
The area we have to focus on is air traffic control. Like I said, I think if you get staffing addressed, infrastructure is a big deal. We have old equipment and infrastructure at a lot of towers that needs to be updated and modernized. And I think there's a huge opportunity with technology.
On Thursday, Secretary Duffy plans to unveil his plan for that new technology, for the upgrades to the air traffic control system. It's likely to be a multi-billion-dollar, multi-year effort, but it would be a step forward here. There's no question the FAA is dealing with antiquated equipment that's decades old. It is an agency here where there are some indications that a burnt copper wire was part of what kicked off these outages. It is not a facility that has fiber optics. It's not a system that has fiber optics. We're talking about a system that runs on floppy disks.
So these are obviously some long-term fixes that are going to take a while. This trauma leave, you said, can be up to 45 days. What are we looking at in terms of when travelers can expect things to go back to normal?
Well, certainly normal at Newark could take a while. We know that United Airlines, the biggest airline operating in and out of Newark, has put a change waiver up, allowing people to make changes to their flights through at least May 17th. So that's the end of next week. So if any indication here is that this is not going to wrap up in short order, my conversations with the FAA today is that they expect the same staffing issues again tomorrow.
All right, Kris Cleave, thank you so much. CBS News transportation safety expert and analyst Robert Sumwalt joins us now. He's also former chair of the NTSB. So, Robert, air traffic controller screens for Newark going dark for up to 90 seconds last week. What could cause that and how dangerous is it?
Well, Lindsay, hello. You can imagine how traumatic that would be for an air traffic controller, that you are responsible for dozens of airplanes and hundreds of lives, and you're communicating with those airplanes, and all of a sudden your radar screens go blank. That would be a traumatic event. So how long is it going to take to fix all this? It's going to take a while.
So let's talk about this trauma leave, because we did learn that 20% of air traffic controllers in Philadelphia went on trauma leave due to this blackout. You called it. Imagine how traumatic that would be. What can you tell us about this policy, and how does that affect a team already dealing with staffing shortages?
Well, I'm not exactly sure how the trauma leave actually works, but I think in this case, the controllers are certainly entitled to it. When you've got 20% of your workforce that's leaving for 45 days or up to 45 days, that's not going to help the air traffic controller shortage one bit. So this is a significant event to have them leave, and we've got to figure out a better way.
Earlier, we heard from the Alaska Airlines CEO. How long does it typically take to update aging air traffic equipment? I mean, if Kris Van Cleave was saying we're talking about floppy disk systems still.
Well, I hate to say it, but it's going to take years. And I've got in front of me a GAO report, Government Accountability Report, that points out that this is a problem that has been decades in the making. And the GAO report said that the FAA has made, quote, mixed progress in modernizing the ATC facilities.
Robert Sumwalt, thank you so much.